Hello everyone, and welcome in this Timberborn tutorial for the Water Beaver overhaul mod. Um, I'll guide you through how to install the game, the mod, and we'll talk about the dependencies, what kind of things you need to think about when playing, and yeah, let's get into it. So you should have the mod manager. It is not strictly necessary, but it's far more convenient to install. And you can probably find the mod in the first page. Here it is. In my case, it's not marked as installed. That's because I'm making it, so I have a different way of putting it into the game. You can just click download and be done with it. Except one thing is that this mod is actually very, very heavy, and there is a bunch of dependencies. So you need to click on download and wait 5 good minutes, go take a coffee or something, to let the mod manager download it, because there is no notification about download progress or anything. When you update it, you should probably check the changelog, at least the latest version, because sometime I will tell you to delete the previous install, and the reason for this is complicated, but sometime I'll try to make it not necessary, but I might. And that tells you what has changed recently, so it's nice. Okay, so download it, check out the dependencies, make sure everything is up to date, and then if you want, there is other mods that can be used with it. This is a dependency, this is not a dependency and you can use, it's nice to have. This is a dependency, this is also not a dependency and I strongly recommend you use it. And I think that's mostly it. Mirror buildings. So generally UI mods should work, but this one is not a UI mod. It's not working, it is literally not compatible. Don't use this, or disable it when you want to use this one. Anything also that adds the berry need is not working, but generally just keep it to, this mod is also not a dependency and really good to have. Just keep it to dependencies and this, which one? This and this. So that's basically all you need. Okay, so once you have everything installed and it's all good, you should be able to close this, and then it will tell you to restart the game, and it's not my case because it's already of course installed. And then you will be able to just go to new game and see this guy here. When you click on him, you should have actually the next button grayed out. That's because the menu system is made like this. Factions are locked by default. So you would need to do what is written here, is start a game with the folktales, and that will immediately unlock those as soon as you unpause the game from the starting state. So I don't need to do this, it's already unlocked. Click next, and then choose a map. My recommendation is to take a map that has naturally occurring chestnuts and naturally occurring maples. So the best for this is taking old maps, because they have, and since version 4 you cannot put those trees into maps anymore. That's complicated, but sure. And we need those in the map in order to have some of the custom plants I have in this faction to appear naturally, which is much nicer. You can still plant them yourself if you need, but it's not great. The map we will take for this test is New Yosemite. So because I know this one has some naturally occurring brambles. And next, it tells you, oh, this is an old map. Do you want to continue? Yes, that is exactly what we want. There is a mod that allows to place just anything in terms of plants, but I don't know which map uses it yet, so let's go with this. Normal mode, don't do difficult mode, it's just going to be boring, because this is just 60% drought and 30% water season, so it's not really interesting, because you get most of your power from water wheel in this mod. So with permanent droughts you will be bored to death in no time. Yeah, start! Okay, so it takes a little while to load. That's because there is a million assets to get into the game, but that should be quite easy. Okay, so we are into the game. It seems to be working. Let's call this tutorial demo. Okay, and you start with this wonderful broken cart. So this is your life now. You are here whether you like it or not, and that's how it is. As you can see, there is a bunch of things in the cart. There is an anvil here, there is a chemistry set, and there is a library set here. And you can't get it for now, but we will get to this later. So, as usual, first thing first, you need to place some water pumps, and you need to place some farms. Let's get this here. Oops. Farm. And of course, as you can see, the menu is slightly different. It's because I felt that something would make more sense in one way or the other. If it doesn't make sense to you, I'm sorry. That's how I think. And we have this thing. So in this mode, probably you're already aware if you're trying to install this. Many buildings are watertight, and watertight building requires some sort of caulking material, which in this case is going to be frequently pine resin. For example, you need some for the forester. So to get this, we need a tapper's flag, because there is no point having an entire house just to get this, so I made this thing. It even has a tiny flag, that's wonderful. Oh, and of course, let's allow them to cut the trees. Yep, go ahead, chop it all. So, basic needs, as usual, are water and food, of course. And those nice and fluffy and beautiful beaver have some extra need, which is filth. They just get dirty over time and they don't like it, and when they get too dirty they will refuse to work and might cause your colony to collapse. Who knows? That's beaver logic, don't ask me. And so for this we will need to, of course, plant this. Let's plant some food. The food is different also, because they change the devs changed the food stuff for the iron teeth, so I decided that those should also have their own food stuff. It's not completely different, but it's not completely the same either. So, filth, I was saying. In order to get this need filled back up, you need to go in the river, and you need to build a bath. So at first you don't have stairs in this mod, you only start with crap technology. I mean, you're from a broken cart, what do you expect? Yep, so let's put some log stairs, and let's put some bath, and in the water tab you can find a wonderful bath. This is inspired from Japanese Sento bath, if you notice. And you have basically 10 days to get this to work. If it is difficult for you to reach the river, you can always use the shower, which also works, but it only accommodates one beaver at a time, so it's not super effective, while this can accommodate 8 beavers at a time, so it's much better. Let's speed up this whole thing, that would be good. And so this is what you need for survival. And you can see those, it's not written here, it's written here. If you click here, you can see there is one worker here, but it's also, it says habitants 3. And of course they can make kids in this, so your population will grow every time you build a new buildings, a new house, generally speaking, but everything is a house, so you will see. And also, important thing, you see that the farmhouse only has one guy working inside. So it's going to be fine for planting, but for harvesting you will be in big trouble if you don't plant more. Actually, let's keep this like this. I'm going to plant them both next to each other, and there is a very good reason for this. Actually, let's pause this one, and let's put another of this. And the reason for this is because in this mod I have made upgrades, which you also have the billboard mod, which is not here just for decorating, it's also because there is information here. Farm upgrade board. So this is to explain to you how does some upgrade work. You don't need to actually build these things, you can look at them just placing them, and Right order. How to not die of thirst. That's an important thing to know. For example, you see, one pump basically works for 20 beavers. That's a rough estimate. Water pump upgrade. So that's the one we want. So as you can see, let me cheat a little bit so it's nicer. Okay, so as you can see, you can upgrade your farms in this manner. So you have a thing that you can put on top of two adjacent farms, and that will give you some bonuses, you will see. And same thing for the water pumps, except the water pump can be chained indefinitely. So that's why you should strive to align your water pumps in a way that makes a nice row and you can get lots of upgrades. Okay, this is going on, this is getting built, and this is getting built. We will be able to survive, hopefully.